Hello, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and today we're doing a quick video on my favourite video. Now Ronald, who does the inspirational car park growing area, asked me to do this, and it's part of a meme kind of thing that's flowing around the allotment video world. And yeah, I really struggled. I went through loads of videos looking for the best one. Or my favourite one really, rather than the best one. And actually some of my favourites, the quality is awful. Absolutely awful. You know, I've got like square videos, upside down videos, wind noise, you know, all sorts of stuff. God, how anybody ever watched those old videos, I've no idea. Anyway, eventually I settled on one that I did in April of this year. And you know, after I watched it, I thought, yeah, this is definitely got to be the one, because you know, at this time we're just about approaching winter, harvest volumes are dropping, and you know, it's a bit of a grim time. It's going to be better this year because I've got the Polytunnel, but yeah, it's not great in December and January on the allotments. But then of course, you know, things start to pick up a little bit in February. March things start, you know, growing quite strongly, but in April it's just wonderful, you know, real abundance, you know, and on my allotment there's no hungry gap, or there never has been so far. When I shot this video, it was just after the beast from the east, and so everything had taken a bit of a knockback. We're about 3 weeks behind where we should have been, but it was still looking, you know, pretty good. There were a few problems, but it was looking pretty good. And you know, I was full of the joys of spring. So yeah, that's the one I chose, and you know, that's what makes this allotment a little bit special, is, you know, just how abundant everything is in April, and so definitely a time to look forward to. And so it's lovely to go back and look at some of these old videos, you know, on a dark January day, and say, well, it's not very far away and we're going to be enjoying this. So I'll just tag it straight on the end of this video, and hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it and rewatching it. I'll see you soon. I almost forgot that in order for this pyramid scheme to work, I need to nominate 3 more people to nominate their favourite video, and I think top of the list has got to be Mike Curtis, because I just love his videos. They're just such an inspiration to me. And then I think Nigel from the Muddy Boots channel. I think, you know, I just learned so much from you, Nigel. It's amazing, and I'm so appreciative. And then probably Michael from Michael Wotherton's channel. And Michael just keeps on week by week demonstrating to me that I need to do a better job of my carpentry and take a bit more care and attention. Anyway, I'll put those links in the show notes, and hope you enjoy them. Hello, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and today we're just going to do a quick tour around the Polytunnel and just check in with the plots and see what's going on. So I'll show you around. So this is what the plot looks like, all covered up and opened up because it's a lovely sunny day. This is the Polytunnel, and I had it a couple of weeks, so I'm just getting used to it, getting used to how to manage it. I'll just show you this watering situation, because we always run out of water on the plots at this time of year. There's no water on the allotment, so we only have what we can store or gather from the rain. We put in this new watering system, water capture system rather, a week ago, and it's working really well. It filled this this water butt here, it's overflowed into here, and I popped this little bilge pump on the side here, which lets me move the water really quickly around between the various different water butts, just by moving that pipe around. And I've just filled this this water butt up, and it's working really great. It's, you know, just to empty that water butt probably takes 5 minutes on a little pump, so it's fantastic. And it moves water from an inconvenient place basically into a convenient place, so it's worked really well. Very happy with that. There we go, quick look inside. You can see the wind blowing through the double doors nicely. Here's the seedlings. I'm not really going to go through them, just to give you a quick idea of what's going on. So there's a lot of brassicas. These are actually finally starting to grow on. I was a bit worried. Most of them last week just looked like this, and not being very experienced with growing anything, I wasn't really sure. They've been like that for a few weeks, but now ones that look like that are now looking like this, which is much more what I wanted to see. So I'm really pleased with the way everything's starting to come on. And got some nice shallots there. As I say, lots of brassicas, lots of beetroot, some more beetroot here, and a few lettuces, some more lettuces here, just lots of brassicas. What have I got planted? So I've got two big raised beds. There's one over there. I've got my early brassicas in that one, and I always grow early brassicas just for leaves, because these will be prolific, covering the underside of this bench here by the time my overwintered brassicas are finishing. And so it just gives me a massive surplus of all sorts of different leaves. And so I've got broccoli and sprouts and cabbages and kale and all sorts of stuff, and we just eat the leaves from those. And so I've also got some leeks in here, which are just going to be going for baby leeks, and I've got some beets in here, and then I've got alternate rows of carrots and some radishes. So I'm trying for a kind of mix of everything in the polytunnel, partly so I can learn how things work in here, what grows well and what doesn't and all that sort of thing, but also just if it's raining and foul weather outside, I can just pop in here and I can just harvest everything that I need to at a push. So I've got some early peas that I've started there. Cucumber going to go in here. I've got some celery in here, and some strawberries and some lettuces along here. A bit more celery there, some more peas there. I've got a courgette in here, which lives inside this little bubble wrap tent most of the time. And this bed here is going to be tomatoes and cucumbers mostly. This bench, once it's freed up, is going to be mostly peppers with a few other bits and pieces. And I've got these tubs which will have a variety of different things growing in them and growing up to the crop bars. This is my harvest area, and I gotta say, it's just fantastic to have a harvest area that's out of the elements and the wind, so everything stops blowing away all over the place. They're my harvest buckets, and I'm basically harvesting into water, and then I put the veg in this bag and swing it around a few times to get any excess water off it, pack it up into these containers and just leave it on here under a bit of shade cloth to dry out a little bit, and then I seal it up and take it out. So this bench will be full pretty soon because I'm doing a harvest this afternoon. So let's go take a quick look around the plot. So comparing videos from last year, my plot's running about 3 weeks behind where it was last year. Perpetual spinach here, carrots here, corn salad, some pretty grotty looking kale now, which doesn't look very well, Some really nice spinach underneath that fleece. Plenty of good spinach here. Lettuce bed. I have had though a little bit of downy mildew on some of those lettuces, so I've just had to give them a little bit of a trim, and it's not surprising given the damp weather we've had over the last few weeks, and it's on the leaves near the soil. So soon, well actually today, all these lower leaves will all be harvested, and nothing will be touching the soil hopefully, so that's good. These lettuces a bit more robust. Those beets add some lovely colour. Quite a few beds almost ready for repurposing, so just a few carrots to come out of this one, and then that rocket will be pulled up, and then all the beds will be reconditioned, ready for their spring planting. Some more lettuces here which are all looking beautiful, and some really nice spinach. This is one of my salad beds, coming on slowly, but it's coming on. Still really pleased that we're just about ready. Well, I probably will harvest some of these later on today. Pulled some more of this, pulled the winter's minus lettuce out of here. We've still got a big bed of it on Debbie's plot, and so not a lot of point having it here. Just can't use it all. It's a little greenhouse. Most of the stuff's moved now into the polytunnel, but I just got my onions in here. I've got loads of onions growing from seed as well, but these are the kind of fallback ones, growing as sets. Apologies for the wind, but you have to take your sunny days when you can. So my spring onions still coming on nicely. Just look at that grass there. How could I have missed that? It's amazing what you miss sometimes. It's just, until you do these videos, you just don't see things. Anyway, there we go. That's the grass gone. Still a few weeds in there, and some more spring onions in there. So they need a good water. That's my best salad bed at the moment. Fantastic. Needs a bit of a weed, of course. Everything at the moment needs a bit of a weed because I've basically done nothing on the plots for over a week. The weather's just been rubbish. So everything's just been holding. I don't know whether I showed you these last week, and they're pretty small, but now all these are ready for harvest. And one of the nice things about the cold frame is everything gets like slightly different light levels, and so everything comes to maturity at different times. And but I'm pleased to be harvesting these because it gives me some space for the carrots to grow. So that's looking great. Pulling the pak choi with a vengeance now because it's starting to go to seed, but when you just nip these bits off here like that, they're really nice in a salad or a stir fry. There's all the rubbish that I've been clearing up, and some nice baby leaf chard in there, some more nice lettuces and spring onions doing well. I've had a peek underneath here, and these are my early, not quite so early as the ones in the polytunnel, but fairly early brassicas. These aren't just being grown for leaves, but these are all the early varieties, and this is all onions down here with a bit of baby leaf chard in there as well. Today this red frills is coming out. It's shading this, and it's had its day, and I'll be popping a bit of spinach in to replace it, and I'll probably also take the giant red mustard out, or at least most of it, because it grows so fast at this time of year. You really only need one plant. One good way to see how well things are progressing is this asparagus bed. This was covered with asparagus this time last year, and there's nothing to be seen apart from a few weeds. Another mixed bed, carrots, spring onions and radish. And we're nearly there. That's another lovely lettuce bed. Lettuce is just fantastic this time of year. Can't grow enough of it. Everybody loves it. And more lettuce. And another bed that's ready for clearing. I'll put some turnips in, I think, but it's all going to seed now, and yeah, there's no point keeping that in. And also that giant red and red frills all coming out, so I think turnips, definitely. Let's have a quick look. Broccoli, still nothing to show really. Almost there, almost pushing through, but not quite. Not quite. These beds, just spare bits and pieces. Nothing much to see there. But this will go to seed soon, so I need to start pulling it. What a wonderful winter lettuce this is, though. Well, it's a winter lettuce, but it's also great in spring. And by the time I've harvested all this, these babies will be coming on stream. So, good succession planning there, Steve. Let's have a look at the manure compost situation. We've got some fresh horse manure in there. Got some wood chips that are rotting down nicely in there. And just some horse manure that's rotting away quite nicely in there. So everything's looking good on the compost in front. I've made up this little flower border, popped a broccoli plant in the middle there, and some little perpetual kale plants. They're struggling a bit, but they might survive. Anyway, even if they don't, the flowers will. So, I think I can call it, that's the end of my plot. So this is Debbie's plot, and we just harvested a few brassicas from here and popped some broad beans in here, Debbie did, and corn salad doing beautifully. And this is the miner's lettuce that Jenny trimmed back yesterday, I think, and so it should regrow, so hopefully we'll get at least one more harvest from that. This is the kale Nero, it's going to seed, and we just pick these little florets effectively, and they're just great. They're really lovely. Pick them with a few leaves on and the flowers just before they've opened. Great stuff. And I think some of Debbie's broccoli is doing a bit better than mine. It's the black currants are just coming into leaf. Kale is also starting to flower, you can see, and again we just pick the centre out. There we go, these little centre bits, and there'll be loads of these coming, and they're great as well. But here's the broccoli, almost there, and Debbie's put new gutters on her shed, and you can see her water butt is now full. Or maybe you can't, but it is full anyway. A little bit of a sigh of life from her rhubarb. And with that, I think we'll call it a day on Debbie's plot. So let's take a quick look around Jenny's plot. I've just been harvesting some of the colettes. They're pretty good. A few straggly bristles left, not too many. The broad beans are okay, surviving. Kale's starting to really thrive on here, which is good because it's earning its keep while the onions are going in here. So whilst the onions are in the greenhouse, the kale survives another day. And this autumn, in theory, broccoli, Rudolph, is just doing fantastic. Can you believe I've just harvested this bush? And what else? All the garlic and everything's doing well over there. Cabbages are still hanging in there. I'll actually go around and have a quick look at some of those. I'm pleased to see that the chard is really starting to spring to life now, which has taken a very long time this year. A lot of these sprouts are blowing, but I don't mind. I like blown sprouts. Not all of them, but some of them, like say this one here. Pick that. That was a beaut. That was a real beaut. And I actually kind of like those slightly more. That's another one. Than fully intact sprouts. So I'm not complaining. These little sprout plants have been great. And I really like these as well. These are the little cabbages that have grown where a cabbage has been harvested. 3 of them off one root. I'm actually going to pick one of those because that is just a little beauty. Just look at that. Fantastic. These cabbages are going to have to come up soon because potatoes are going in here soon. But whilst they survive, they're doing good duty. And all the potatoes are now pretty much planted on here, apart from potatoes that are blight resistant, so the sarpos, and they're just breaking through here. These are the Arran pilots. So hopefully no more frosts, and if there are, they'll just go in the shed. So Charlotte's in here, more Charlotte's in here, more Charlotte's in there. Charlottes that we're going to leave for baking potatoes, because apparently, although they're second earlies, if you just leave them, turn out into really lovely baking potatoes, which is what happened last year. And these are being saved for the Sarpomeras and Sarpo Keefes, and then all of this bed down here, all the way along, pretty much, is going to be potatoes soon. So, got to get picking. Anyway, there we go. That's Jenny's plot. And this is the brassica harvest. So, just really pleased with this. It's really gorgeous. A bit of everything in here. Fantastic. Just look at those colettes. Look at that colette there. Fantastic. You don't get them like that in the shops, but they're just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another one there. Fantastic. Anyway, there's the brassicas. Get those boxed up. Well, it's been a really glorious afternoon. I just enjoyed myself harvesting. So I'll just show you what we've got. We've got 6 containers full of lettuce. Got a lovely little crop of radishes, really nice, really pleased with those. Bit of perpetual spinach, some pak choy, some corn salad, three things of corn salad, loads of brassicas, all those there, all brassicas, and some spinach. And obviously we've still got, you know, loads of potatoes and beets and onions and stuff like that in the store, so makes for a pretty good spread. Pretty pleased with that. See you soon.